how do we work with thoughts?
Restructuring of thoughts
And how do we restructure the thoughts?
by different
First becoming aware of this.
So we follow a model. So I'm explaining the model to you that most of you will be aware of, but when I go into practicing, I'll actually do it in terms of how you work with the client. Okay. So the model basically is, there's a trigger that triggers a particular response. Most people think that it's the trigger that is responsible for the response. An example of this would be, give me an example of a trigger that creates anxiety.
exam.
Corona.
So what about corona? Can we make the trigger a bit more precise?
So if we go out or if we go out and we come back, maybe a grocery shopping, and then suddenly, we cough, just then the first trigger point is it might be COVID.
So it can be having to go out. It can be someone coughing.
Yeah.
It can also be
Meeting someone
watching.
new. Yeah.
Someone said something, sorry?
Meeting, having somebody home back from outside after a long time.
Traveling these days.
Unsure of our job.
Can you say that again, please? What of job?
We are not sure of our job, whether it is going to be there or not.
Correct. So again, my question to the client would be, when is it that they feel, or when is it that they have this thought more evidently? So for example, again, when I watch a news, or when I'm on a meeting with my office people, or when I'm sitting alone in my house in the evening, see, it's not that they have this thought running in their head 24/7. There is something that triggers the thought in their mind. So you want the client to be able to identify what that specific trigger is. I will come to how do we work with the client so that they can identify the trigger if they don't know it. But before we go there, you need to know that when we work with triggers, we really need precise understanding of what the trigger is. Is this clear till here?
Yeah, also I think maybe adding on to that, if something is happening to you, like even a little bit of throat pain or even a little bit of thing, you go to that next level of COVID. So it's about your own health symptoms.
Yes?
Yeah.
The response is, let's say, anxiety in all 3 cases, all 5 cases. Now, is it really having to go out that creates anxiety?
No.
And the outcome.
Correct.
What will happen after future?
Because if it was having to go out, then technically everyone who has to go out should feel anxious. So the fact that some people do, some people don't, tells us that it's not really about having to go out, but about what we are thinking when we have to go out. Make sense?
Yeah.
So what would the thought be? Give me an example of a thought when someone has to go out, that this is the thought that creates the anxiety.
I hope I don't catch the infection, or I don't come across a person who's already having this COVID. What if there's somebody? All sorts of questions regarding if it's regarding Corona, COVID.
Also thoughts like, so now it's become asymptomatic. I might not know who's having it. So anybody, anywhere could be, somebody who's carrying the infection.
Also, I think when you're wearing the first thing, when you actually, it's not about the thought, you have to go out, but the moment you start getting into the gloves or the mask is when you realize, oh freak, you're going out. So
Correct,
those
but-
thoughts start to be.
Correct. So when you say, oh freak, I'm going out, that oh freak, I'm going out itself is actually a thought.
Yeah.
Right? Perfect. So once again, can one of you give me just one thought for having to go out? which would create anxiety?
I don't know who's
Because
infected.
like somebody said, wearing a mask. The moment you wear a mask, you feel that things are not right. What's happened? You feel so anxious. Sometimes I forget to wear a mask because you're not used to it. So when you go the moment you wear a mask, the whole picture comes. Then the whole thing starts coming in front of your eyes.
Perfect. So wearing a mask again becomes another trigger.
You feel suffocated, then you what's happened to this world, and no, things start multiplying then.
Correct. So I don't know who's infected, what's happened to this world.
Will I be? I hope I remember to sanitize. I mean, it's about your own protection, right? So you constantly think that I hope I keep in mind to sanitize and wearing your mask properly or not touching your mask. Like I think that is also a thought. When you wear a mask is one trigger, but when you keep on touching the mask or I've taken all the precautions, right? What you said.
Right?
Yeah.
So these are some examples of thoughts. Now, would it be fair to say anyone who's having these thoughts constantly would probably have anxiety?
No, I think everyone's going through this.
Correct. But if the thoughts are like perpetually playing in their mind, then would that have a greater tendency to create anxiety?
Yes.
Yes?
No.
Do we all agree with this?
I don't think.
Yeah.
I
I
think
don't think so, Nitin.
Hmm.
I don't agree because these thoughts are like everyday thing. We think of these thoughts, but doesn't mean that we are anxious.
Correct. But that's so why is it that we don't get anxious and others who are thinking about this get anxious?
I
Maybe
think
the intensity of thoughts
And
the continuous thought process.
and
so most of us, when we have these thoughts, are either able to allow these thoughts to pass away,
yes,
right? Which means we
Yes.
don't keep thinking of, so it's not like a repetitive pattern.
you're right.
Or we have a corresponding thought that makes us feel better. So for example, if I have a thought, I don't know who's infected, and my follow-up thought in my head is, but I have taken all the precautions.
Yes.
Now, the earlier thought will not affect me as much because the follow-up thought is helping me compensate for whatever anxiety the earlier thought would have created. Does it make sense?
I think also
Nitin, can I add to this?
Yes, please.
I mean, what you said is perfectly fine. What you said, I don't know who's infected, but I've taken all precautions. But then there's another loop which says, but don't be so overconfident about yourself. It can happen from anywhere. So that's the third loop which happens.
Correct.
So
I think Nitin, what Prapti is saying is, so whenever something that I've been experiencing is whenever I go out, I'm wearing a mask, I'm wearing my gloves, but after every 20 minutes I receive a call from my mother. I hope you're not touching your mask. I hope you sanitize your hands. You're not touching anywhere. You shouldn't be keeping your hands on. And I have to tell her, stop calling me. You're making me anxious. I become overly aware of situations. So even if I'm touching a doorknob, I'm like, okay, first I need to take the sanitization spray out, spray on it, and then open the knob and come inside the door. So somebody continuously telling you about it over and over again, that makes you more anxious.
Correct.
So
But
I know the
again,
fact.
correct. But again, when you say that someone calling and asking, her calling and asking is the trigger. Now, when she calls and asks what is happening in your head is what eventually would lead to whether it's creating an anxiety or not. For example, when my parents called me up, and I'm living in a different city altogether. So when my parents called me up and they asked me, what is happening? Are you going to the office, or are you taking care of all of the things? And then, because we speak more or less on a daily basis, they have a tendency to ask that again and again. In my head, the idea is, they are not with me, so they don't know. Right? So while they're calling and asking frequently, it's the quality of thoughts that I have in my head after they ask me is what is determining. I'm sure you would have come across situations where there are other things for which someone keeps asking you over and over again, and you are just able to ignore that.
Yeah.
Right? But in this case, you're not able to ignore because that triggers a particular sequence of thoughts in your head. Does this make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So
I don't want to be I don't want to be infected, and all of that is again going on into my head.
Correct. So I don't want to be infected. That's again a thought process.
Right.
What if I get infected? What if I'm not able to work because of infection? Will I have beds in
Yeah.
the hospital if I'm infected?
Also, if
Will
I
I
get
come back?
infected, if I get infected, my family is going to be affected with it.
Correct. So what if I become the cause of infecting my family? If something happens to me, will I come back? So all of these eventually boil down to thoughts, right? This is things happening in people's head.
Yeah, stigma also attached to it.
Correct. And that stigma is eventually again bringing us back to thoughts.
Right.
Right. So the reason I'm kind of emphasizing on this is to first ensure that we all realize, if we know the trigger clearly, identification of the thought becomes easier, because I can literally just ask the client that, all right, just when you're about to go out of the house, what is the thought that comes to your mind? Just when someone coughs, what is the thought that comes to your mind? When you're looking at the news, what is the first thing that comes to your mind before you get anxious? If I know the trigger, identifying the thought is easier. If I don't know the trigger, then the client goes into circles, because they also don't know which thought is actually creating anxiety. Otherwise, during the day, we have like thousands of thoughts, right? And not all of those thoughts really trigger anxiety for us. Is this clear for us still here?
I think Nitin, the major one is also having the part-timers back.
Which means?
It's a trigger. That is a trigger, right?
Correct. And the thought associated to that would be?
I can't, can't I manage so much by myself? But then the second loop is, oh, but I need help because I have so much more to do. And
Correct,
then what if?
What if?
Yeah. What if, the part-timer is carrying it, and then, the society will like, society will think blah, blah, blah about me, that, she couldn't live with a part-timer, but then there's a constant conflict. The conflict, to be sitting on the fence and to take a decision also creates that anxiety.
Correct, but that conflict is actually a problem eventually, because whatever decision I want to take is accompanied by a sequence of thoughts that are then going to bother me. So if I take a decision that I don't want the maid, then probably the thought is, yeah, what is the point of paying if I can't even have her? There is so much to do. So that there is so much to do creates anxiety. And if I actually bring her in, then the feeling that, oh, what if she's infected? What will the society tell about me? So that again creates anxiety. But eventually, it's not the part-timers that is creating the anxiety. It's the thoughts associated with their coming back or not coming back.
Right. Right.
So are we good till here, all of us?
Yep.
Yep. All right. Now, how do we work with this? So we know the existing thought. Now, how do we restructure it?
So here the skills come in.
So maybe showing the other side of something.
Maybe ensuring that I have taken the precautions.
The problem is that in spite of the fact that I've taken the precautions, I may be feeling anxious. For example, right now, before we started the workshop, I completed a case, was working with a client, where the client told me, Nitin, every possible precaution that I need to take, I'm already taking. इससे ज़्यादा नहीं किया जा सकता है कुछ भी. And it's the same precautions that everyone else in my family is taking. Right? But none of them seem to be anxious. None of them seem to have a problem. They are going about with their life as normally as they can in the current situation. But I seem to be so anxious that even if I touch the table on which I'm supposed to have food, I would first go wash my hands, do 10 things, and then come back and sit again.
Maybe we can ask.
But instill more positivity in ourselves, or say ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होएगा? What will happen?
So the question is, how do you instill that positivity? See, this is the key when we are working with clients. Many a times when we are working, it's not just about telling the client that nothing can go wrong or that they are already taking all the precautions. What we really want is their new thoughts to become as automatic as the old one. Otherwise, even if you tell me I'm taking all the precautions, I know that I'm the one taking the precaution already. So आप session के अंदर अगर मुझे बता भी रहे हो that I'm taking more precautions, that doesn't really help me because I know that. Right? Now, your work is to help me change the thought. How do you help me change the thought? What will be the process that you will follow?
Maybe if we can ask the client to counter their thought with an other thought, like what evidence do you have that every time you touch a certain thing, you might be infected? Something like that.
So if you were to ask me that, I would tell you what evidence do you have that if I touch something, I will not be infected.
But then, right.
Like you said, replace the negative thought into in one of the models. You said you have to replace the negative thought with a positive thought. So there's a therapy there where you had mentioned. So you have to, swap the negative thought with a positive thought.
Perfect. So the idea is before we swap the negative with positive, we need to come up with the positive. And ideally, we should not be the one coming up with the positive. Because if you as a therapist come up with a positive, the client in 99 out of 100 cases will question the positive thought.
It should come from the client only.
It should come from the client only. So the way to work with it is you tell the client. So let me make it a bit more simpler for you in terms of example first. So we'll come back to this in a moment. Let's say you're working with a client who is afraid of stage. Has a thought, people will throw what? Chappals or tomatoes? Which one do you want to be thrown?
I think tomatoes are better.
The eggs is well.
Tomatoes at me. And the feeling is anxiety. Right? Now, instead of this, if you were this person, what should your thought be which will make you feel more confident rather than anxious?
I will just focus on giving my best. Not worry about the outcome. Just give my best. That's all.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When you say not worry about the outcome, in that, the moment we have spoken about the word worry, invariably the client will start worrying. Because that reminds them of all the reasons why they need to worry. Right?
I may just make up tomato soup out of tomatoes that they throw.
Oh, this is brilliant. So actually with chappals and tomatoes, this is one of the most innovative responses I've got. So I may just make tomato soup out of the tomatoes. I had a client who had once told me that at least कुछ नहीं तो चप्पल की दुकान तो खोल ही लूंगा.
वो एक ही पैर फेंकेंगे.
वो मतलब फिर थोड़ी मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी पैर वेर बनाने में. But the
mismatch हो जाएगा.
Correct. But the point being that if the client can come up with an alternative thought which can either create confidence or humor, then they can't feel anxious. You can't be afraid of something and find it funny at the same time.
Think that nobody is watching me. It's a blank thing. So I'm alone on the stage.
Correct. So when you say, all right. The only problem with this is a lot of people say that, but I can see people in front of me. So what you're asking them to think is actually in real time, factually incorrect. Some people may be able to do it, but some people will not be able to do it because that audience is visible in front of them. Yeah. And then you may also have other people who are anxious ki I'm anxious of going in front of a large audience, and I'm also anxious ki agar auditorium khali hua to. So if you were that client, what would you like to think? I want each of you to individually give me an answer. So Prapti, give me an answer. I will make tomato soup was an answer by whom?
Nikita.
Nikita. Anyone else who would like to give an answer?
If I was, stage, if I had a stage fright then. Okay.
So instead of this thought that people, so instead of the thought that people will throw tomatoes or chappals at me, what is the alternate thought that can be more useful for you?
Okay, so I will think that टमाटर कौन लेकर आता है प्रोग्राम के लिए?
What else?
Okay, so
I was
I
thinking-
I really have a stage fright. So what my thought is, people will find fault with me. People will notice my anxiety and they may laugh at me. So these are my thoughts. So what I can reduce it by is, probably I will think that they don't know that I am having anxiety and they are waiting to hear my what I have to deliver. So let me focus on that. Maybe
Okay.
if I think that way, it can help me.
Okay. So let me focus on that as more of an action. So people are eagerly waiting for what I have to say. What else? Anyone else?
I don't know about tomatoes and chappals, but
I'll
some
wait for, let's see, why should I mean, पहले क्यों मैं बोलूं कि क्या होएगा? Let's see क्या होता है. Let's see. I'll face it. I'll put myself into that position. Wherever I feel anxious, I just throw myself into it. I take it as a challenge.
So I don't know about tomatoes and chappals, but when I would remember the time when I was going on stage and I was very scared. So my father told me, "ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होगा? लोग हंसेंगे ही ना, कोई बात नहीं."
ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होना?
हाँ, उनको अच्छा है ना, आप किसी को हंसा के आ रहे हो, इसमें परेशान क्या होना?
Sometimes maybe ensuring that you know more than what the audience knows would help.
So what will be the thought?
That
I
I'm
am in
going to
control.
say something.
Sorry.
I know something.
I know something.
I know something which they don't know, and I'm here to deliver that. Or I'm here to help them with more information, maybe.
Okay. Now what I want you to do, all of you, is आपने जो जो sentence बनाया है, I want you to put it in this format. If trigger then the new thought. So this becomes the format for thought restructuring. Is the idea clear till here? We will
Nitin,
practice.
I have a question.
Hmm.
Normally, when we ask from the client that can you suggest a thought which is more humorous or which can make you more confident about the same situation which you are anxious about. So कभी कभी sometimes they say like कि नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, नहीं सोच रहा है. Does it happen or they come up with the?
It does.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we generally begin with their current thoughts. So the reason for starting with their current thought is once they know the current thought and if they say मुझे नया thought समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, I would ask the client इसी का उल्टा क्या होगा?
Okay.
Okay. So for example, मतलब जैसे यहाँ पे बोला था people will throw tomatoes at me. इसका उल्टा क्या होगा? हाँ आपको टमाटर लेके थोड़ी ना आएगा, बाहर गार्ड है.
Yeah.
So the moment they know the current thought, identifying the new thought becomes a lot more easy, and therefore it like goes in a sequence. You talk about the trigger first. If they know the trigger, identifying the thought is easier.
Okay.
If they know the current thought, identifying the new thought is easier.
Okay.
Is the idea clear till here? You will practice this with each other in some time, but I just want to get this started with.